okay, and they gave me this copy, and said, we have 5 minutes to shoot this, and they plopped Tia, the monkey, on my shoulder. And I had to say this whole thing that I was reading, and then it says, my stage direction, Jessica, now turn towards Tia and purse your lips. And I say, now my favorite kiss on screen is this. And I go, and I do this, and I didn't know monkeys had really long tongues.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
Coincidentally, we saw each other yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
Was it yesterday or
or
day
I had the
before?
longest day of my life. It might have been yesterday.
Maybe it was 2 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah, or 3 days ago, maybe. Because today is Tuesday.
I wasn't sober.
Yeah.
I was with my mother, so
Yeah.
it wasn't
So
so
then
bad.
it was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was weird. I was in the country, and you walked into this place that I go eat all the time.
Yeah, literally, it was just us. And,
it was me.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was a weird time of day to eat. So you walked in. It's your mother's birthday, right?
It was my mother's birthday weekend, and she wanted to relive the Sideways movie. So wine tasting was on the agenda.
So this was 2:30. So you had started earlier?
We started earlier. Yeah, walking in and not expecting to see Ellen, and then seeing Ellen. My parents are huge fans, so like they're being loud. I'm like, Dad, be quiet, I'm doing a show, it's so embarrassing. He's like, I know, she's right over there. I'm like, I know she's right over there. He goes, but isn't that weird? She's right behind us. I'm like, Dad, shut up, she can hear. So like we had this whole conversation for about an hour. But yeah.
I couldn't hear you because I was saying the same thing to my friends, like, Jessica Alba's right over there, and she's doing the show. Shut up, Ellen, I know, she's gonna hear you.
Yeah.
No, we thought it was weird. It was just such a
it
strange
was
thing to run into. So now, had you been wine tasting before?
Oh, yeah, before this time?
Yeah.
No.
And what do you do? Like, because I've never done it. Do you?
It's just a very organized.
Don't you spit it out?
Well, they don't really encourage you to spin it. So it's just a very organized way to get drunk.
Yeah.
But we had a driver, so like my mom, ordered a limo.
Right.
So it's very fancy, and we go to these places, and they're, they really want you to drink a lot of wine at each place.
Yeah.
Like you can go to 2 different tables, and they give you, a good amount, and you're tasting like 9 wines per winery.
Really?
Vineyard. Yeah.
And how many wineries did you go to?
We only did 3. My mom was like, we haven't even scratched the surface. And I was like, Mom, 3 is enough. So,
yeah, I saw you because we pulled out after you, and you were pulling into another winery from the restaurant.
Yeah,
and I was like,
we were.
Boy. Yeah. Hope I see her.
Oh, man. The next day, I sure felt it.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, had y'all driven up there?
Yeah. We drove up there, my boyfriend and I. And so, yeah, we were, and we didn't get a lot of sleep the night before because Into the Blue opened, and so you do a little celebratory dinner and then drinks, and then drinks turn into more drinks, and now I just sound like an alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm really not. Like this is a special weekend.
No, you weren't being drunk at all. I didn't think you were drunk. So
no, I was like nervously like standing there trying. I was like, oh man, I hope she doesn't see that I'm at door because I'm gonna go to a show and it'll be exposed to the world, and my parents are being loud.
No.
But they weren't.
Seriously, the only thing that when we hugged you smell a little like wine right now, but
That's not true.
No, it's not
My
true.
grandma's watching.
Yeah, your grandma's watching. Don't give me that. Your grandma's seeing you do this the entire movie.
Well, I don't think she's seen the movie yet.
Oh, really?
No.
How does she feel about stuff like that when you're,
She doesn't really appreciate it.
No, not so much?
Not so much. She's not really into me. When I was a kid, we lived with her for a little bit, like part of the time when I was a kid. And I would hear the fly swatter smack against the wall, and I knew my grandma was coming. And it was either I was wearing a bathing suit indoors, or I was
drunk.
Or yeah, or I was eating the food that was always cooking on the stove, which we weren't allowed to eat it until dinner
So she
time.
came walking down the hall, hitting the wall.
Smacking, like you hear like a, and it was the fly swatter hitting the wall, because she gives you, warning, and so we'd run out to the yard and try to hide.
Wait, and would she hit you with the fly swatter?
Well, she just kind of, she just kind of went right there on your legs and just kind of dodge them and run away.
That doesn't seem like it would hurt.
No, it hurts.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, there's like the smacking of the plastic, and
What
then
a weird thing to do.
Well, it was. She always had it in her hand. Now
The whole family.
yeah. She actually, my grandma doesn't really drink.
Is Grandma watching?
Hi, Grandma.
What's
She's
her name?
watching. Isabel.
Hey, Isabel, holla, shout out.
Holla.
All right, so, and how did she feel about you kissing, you actually made out with a monkey.
Yeah.
On the MTV?
Did. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of monkeys.
Really?
No.
Oh.
I think they should stay like in the jungle, in
They
trees.
probably feel the same way.
Yeah. I'm not really into animals that, being at people's homes, unless they're dogs or cats. But other than that, they should kind of be out in nature. So, I have to do this.
That being said, I made out with a monkey.
I made out with a monkey. I did. I did this MTV show, and I had to host it, and I was doing the best moments in the MTV Awards. And I was supposed to do the most romantic moments, and they said, okay, and they gave me this copy, and they said, we have 5 minutes to shoot this, and they plopped Tia, the monkey, on my shoulder. And I had to say this whole thing that I was reading, and then it says, my stage direction, Jessica, now turn towards Tia and purse your lips. And I say, now my favorite kiss on screen is this. And I go, and I do this, and I didn't know monkeys had really long tongues.
Oh, yeah.
So Tia really let me have it with all of her monkey saliva and just like went all inside.
What kind of monkey was it? Like a small monkey?
Yeah, I think it was a Reese monkey. I think it was or spider monkey. I don't know. It was little and crazy. And then, so that happened, and I freaked out. So obviously the take wasn't good, so I had to do it again. And the second time, I knew it was coming. So I was like hating life and doing the thing. And then Tia did it, and I went, okay, I'm done. And then she freaked out. So she grabbed my ears. So then Tia's like this, and then she goes, ah! Right in my face. And I'm like, this is why I'm scared of monkeys, because her teeth are this big.
Yeah, you really need to stop drinking. All right, we have to take a break, and we'll do an intervention or something. We'll be right back with Jessica Alba. We are back with Jessica Alba, and that's your new movie, Into the Blue. And there's so many things about it. I was just asking during the commercial break, you're underwater. A lot of it is scuba diving, but a lot of it also is free diving. Yeah. And I know you can cheat it sometimes, but you had to hold your breath for how long?
I mean, we had to hold our breath for long periods of time, but I got up to 1.5 minutes. I think Paul can hold his breath, and Scott for like 2 minutes, over 2 minutes.
I mean, some of those things you don't believe the scenes because you're like, you can't be underwater that long when they were in the plane down.
Yeah, and I went from the surface down 35 feet, holding my breath the whole time, and I went to the back of the plane and all the way back through. So that was like 1.5 minutes.
That's amazing. Yeah. And you're swimming with real sharks.
Like wild sharks in the middle of the ocean.
And I mean, there's no
chain mail, there's no wetsuits, no nothing.
No, you're in that bikini the entire time.
The entire time. It was cold.
And they were feeding the sharks to get them to come around?
Yeah, they would throw fish guts in the water and blood, and then they would, all the sharks would come around because they'd smell it. And then they'd throw us actors and a camera.
And then there's a clip we have here. So this is you. It comes up to you, and you actually...
Yeah, I saw it in my peripheral. I saw it coming towards me, and I knocked it out of the way. And then you see me right here. I'm going, Because like when you're underwater, you can only go, or And they kept it in the movie. You can see me going, because I was not happy. And also, I'm down 40 feet. So it's not like when a shark comes, I can just run up to the surface.
So you're reaching out. It could have just opened its...
No, it was coming towards me.
Right, but how did you just pushed it off? It just actually...
Or it comes out, or it bites your head.
Well, it could have bitten your hand.
Yeah, you're not really supposed to, like, put your hands near the mouth of a shark, you know.
Okay, let's repeat that again. You're not supposed to put your hands near the mouth of a shark, just in case anyone ever thought maybe you could.
No, you're not.
Don't.
But if they're, their most sensitive area is their nose. So the way to deflect them is to sort of like pop them in the nose, and then it makes them go in a different direction.
Right.
So when I was down there were a lot of sharks, and they would get feisty. So I'd kick them and pop them and keep them away from me.
All right, well,
I mean, it sounds inhumane, but this is an 8-foot wild animal.
Yeah, no.
Ready to
You're not doing it to a Shih Tzu.
No. I mean, it's a big giant shark.